We're almost halfway through 2024 and I've been catching up on some indie films from this year. I've seen 3 that are probably worth your time, all being wildly different from each other in tone, genre and style. Although Monkey Man and Love's Lie Bleeding have 2 very weirdly specific things in common. Let's start with Monkey Man because that's what I watched first.
Just one small ember can burn down everything.
Where an anonymous young man ekes out a living as an underground fighter wearing a gorilla mask. After years of suppressed rage at witnessing the brutal murder of his mother at the behest and hands of the city's elites, he sees his chance to infiltrate their inner circle and enact his revenge. Yep, it's Indian John Wick basically in style, tone and genre with a twist of Indian spirituality thrown in. Dev Patel acts as writer, director and main protagonist and he does a wonderful job with all 3 hats on. The over-the-top action is brutal, fast-paced and close up. It's definitely where the draw lies here. The story's for what it is, pretty engaging, except a section towards the middle of the film where the film gets a little bit more spiritual and trippy. I'm not going to lie, that bit of the film dragged a little bit for me as someone who doesn't care about invisible sky fairies and didn't grab me as much as the main revenge plot did. However, the last 30 minutes are just an absolute balls to the wall blast of over-the-top violence and I loved it. The acting for the most part is also excellent, with Dev Patel giving a standout performance. He does not look out of place as an action hero, and this is probably his best performance I've seen in a film. He's an absolute badass throughout. The cinematography and direction are both stunning, taking great advantage of the Indian backdrop, and are a definite highlight. Overall, Monkey Man is a great addition to the over-the-top revenge action genre, being well above average in every metric you really want to judge it by in my book. Well worth 120 minutes of your time. You even get some gratuitous nudity. What's not to love? Moving on to Love Lies Bleeding, a lesbian bodybuilding romance thriller. Now if that combination of words as descriptors together don't intrigue you, then I don't know what will, and I'm not sure we can be friends. As I just said, this is a lesbian romance thriller where a reclusive gym manager falls hard in love with a new casual just passing through town gym member who just happens to be in training for a bodybuilding competition in Las Vegas. Only problem with this being that Lou, the gym owner's father, is the local criminal kingpin, and their love ignites a cavalcade of violence, drawing both of them into his world. This stars Kristen Stewart, who has a reputation for being somewhat shit at acting, and I feel like that's really unfair because I've seen her in a number of smaller indie projects recently where she knocks it out of the park, and here is one such example. I've obviously never seen Twilight, where I assume this reputation for shitness comes from. Her co-stars Katie O'Brien and Ed Harris are also excellent in this. The story is compelling, starting out as a straight romance where Lou and Jackie fall madly in love before, through a series of unfortunate, ever-increasingly violent events, they get dragged into the underworld of Lou's father. It's an incredibly horny, tense, and at times shocking ride through small-town desert America at some undefined time in the 90s. A story that explores the themes of love, ambition, and family that had me saying, holy shit, at least once or twice at the level of violence. The ending does dabble in a bit of surrealism, which I enjoy, but my wife, who hates that kind of thing, pronounced the ending was absolutely ridiculous and wasted her time. I disagree, but if surrealism is something you can't handle, be warned. Again, there's some absolutely stunning cinematography on show here that takes full advantage of the 90s aesthetic and the New Mexico backdrop. This even had 2 weirdly specific things in common with Monkey Man. Firstly, both characters have to deal with a shit and piss-filled toilet. Not often you see that in a film, definitely not in 2 films you essentially watched back to back. And secondly, both films towards the end have our main character silhouetted against a bright red backdrop, which admittedly looks very stylish in both cases. I think this is probably a marginally better film than Monkey Man overall for me. but it is marginal. A strong recommendation for me for this if the sound of a 104-minute long lesbian bodybuilding romance thriller appeals to you, and frankly, why the hell wouldn't it, when it is so well done. My last film is probably my softest recommendation, weirdly, as it's the film that is the closest to the kind of films I usually cover, a throwback 1980s style horror comedy.
Are you hot for me?
But Taffy says it's a waste of time to try and fix a boy. But I don't want to die a virgin.
Where a kooky teenager has a high school crush on a corpse, who, through a bunch of weird circumstances, comes to life, and they go on a bloody murder spree to find love and happiness. Firstly, Robin Williams' daughter is the director, and she does a bang-up job here. The film looks amazing, and I love that 80s neon aesthetic. It just looks great on camera, and here is no different. The story is entertaining enough, although it's a well-worn high school romance trope-filled one based on the Frankenstein mythos, basically. There are several laugh-out-loud moments that had me cackling. The acting, however, is really variable. I think they were going for a kooky, irreverent style that was knowingly kinda bad, and the main actress, Catherine Newton, is brilliant at this, but some of the supporting actors, not so much, and they just come across as being bad at acting. Carla Gugino is a main supporting actor, and she's got to be a vampire or something, because man, she still looks smoking hot in her 50s, and she's also a great actress to boot, so it's always a pleasure to see her pop up in anything. So why is this only a soft recommendation? Well, the film has all the key elements of a great 80s horror comedy, namely over-the-top violence and sex that are played for laughs. Except it's all implied and happens off camera. It's a PG-13 80s horror comedy. Having watched the film going into it, having only read the blurb, I now realise I am not the actual audience for this. It's a Cody Diablo flick, and she makes horror comedies for teen girls. And there's nothing wrong with that. She writes really great comedy horror for teen girls and women. Hence, this is only a soft recommendation from me, as I enjoyed my 101 minutes with the film, but ultimately, I'm not really the target audience, and that kind of disappointed me, because 80s style comedy horror just doesn't get made very much these days, does it? If you have a target audience, then I highly recommend this to you, because it is a very enjoyable film, with a couple of great central performances from Catherine Newton and Cole Sprouse. Thanks for watching. I'll as always be back at some point rambling about some other film related topics, so if you want to see that, then like, comment and subscribe. Or dislike it. It's all engagement.